Unbelievable talk.
You'll probably play some of that today on the show?
Yeah, I'm going to play some on the show today. It's available for Blaze TV subscribers. It is so, he's very clear. And when you're in it with the president, he just goes where he wants to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I have a stack of questions about that thick. And so I'm reshuffling as he's going and trying to get everything in. And oh my gosh.
Right. Yeah. That's hard.
I left the interview and I didn't know if I, you get to the end and you're like, I don't know what I even covered.
Yeah.
And so I asked the producers afterwards, I said, do we cover everything? And they're like, his answer on Mexico, his answer on tariffs, his answer on, what was the other one? There was another one. Just stunning answers. Stunning answers. I think there's two that really came to mind. Oh, because I asked him about judicial insurrection as well. A couple that came to mind, his answers. On tariffs, I said, how do you negotiate with China and Europe when many of the people in Europe are WEF fans and we're looking for a great reset, so won't mind, torching the whole thing. He said, let me make it really clear. I don't have to negotiate. I'm not negotiating. They can either buy or not buy. And it was like, okay.
Oh,
already.
all right.
Okay. He is the master. I mean,
he's prepared for the fallout.
He's prepared for the fallout. He does not believe it's going to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said,
I hope he's right.
Yeah. He said, I don't know what I can say, what I can't say. He told me some things off the air that lead me to believe that there's some good news coming our way.
Nice.
On that.
I like good news.
But he doesn't believe there's going to be a big fallout from it.
So there must be some kind of deal being arranged right now with China.
I can't say. I don't know. Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. But something's coming our way. Bessent seemed to have kind of said that yesterday as well. Some things are coming.
Yeah. So Bessent's done a great job.
He is phenomenal.
He's really
and they
good.
are rock solid.
Yeah.
Rock solid.
I mean, they're really committed to what they're doing, right? Yeah. I mean, they knew there was going to be pushback. They knew there was going to be blowback, and they were prepared for it.
Yeah.
And they're going full steam ahead anyway. Yeah. Did you talk to him about the Maryland man?
Oh, I sure did. He had a lot to say about that.
The sainted Maryland man?
Yeah, he said a lot about that. He said, because that's when I brought up judicial insurrection.
Okay.
Yeah, what Mike Lee calls it, judicial insurrection.
That's
and he said, yeah. And I said, I know you're a big fan of Andrew Jackson. I'm not, but you are. Mm-hmm. And I said, he found a constitutional way to deal with the out-of-control Congress or out-of-control judiciary. And I said, would you consider that? And he said, I hope it doesn't come to that. But yeah, I will. If I have to, I will.
Wow. Well, they're trying to stop him on every front.
On every front.
It's every mind-boggling.
Front. Yeah.
Down to the point of this VOA Voice of America stuff.
What good is an administrator? He said the people will not stand for this. He said, they will not stand. He said, I was elected to do a job.
Right.
And I'm doing it. And the judges, the lower court judges, not the Supreme Court, lower court judges have no right to step in and tell him what to do.
Right.
Well, you know how you get around this is if you get Congress to maybe codify some of the stuff.
I asked him about that.
Yeah, we got 40 weekdays on, 39 off so far this year for the House of Representatives.
I asked him about that. That is an interesting answer he gave me on this. There's something going on because he was very kind to Congress. And
was he really?
Oh, yeah. I brought this up, and he was like,
there's a reason for that.
He's like, you know what? They're going to pass this big, beautiful bill, and everything I need in this big, beautiful bill is in this big, beautiful bill. And when they sign that big bill, it will be beautiful.
Okay.
And he said, and if they don't sign that bill, well, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there because they're going to sign it. They're going to sign it. And I said,
wow.
Okay.
All right.
And I said, because I'm not real happy with Congress, and neither is the audience. They would really like to see some action. And he said, I think you're going to be happy with Congress. I think you'll be happy with Congress. Uh-huh. And I was like, okay.
That does sound like he knows something
He knows something, I think.
Yeah.
He's... I mean, it didn't feel like a veiled threat. There was a couple of veiled threats. Like to Mexico, he was like, I love Mexico. The people are great. The leader is beautiful. I love her. She's beautiful. And I said, but if I were a Mexican, I would like somebody to come in and, maybe stop by in the middle of the night with some special forces.
Yeah.
I said, any chance of that happening? And he said, well, that would make news, so I'm not going to say yes to that. But, I hope it doesn't come to that, but we'll see.
Finally. Yeah, finally. I mean, who was last? It certainly wasn't Biden. It wasn't Obama. I mean, George W. Bush, maybe, sort of. I don't know. I don't even have the conviction that he loves his country like Donald Trump does.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's incredible.
Yeah, correct.
It's incredible. All right, well, I think we have a clip from
we have a clip,
the
and
interview.
this is the clip that Glenn was talking about that Trump said they would negotiate, something like that. So
All
here
right.
it is.
I don't have to negotiate. I don't have to negotiate. I'm talking to people out of respect, but I don't have to. So we're this giant store that people
Wow.
want to come in and buy from.
Mm-hmm.
We're the United States. We have the richest consumer, et cetera, right? But we're not going to be that way for long if we don't do something. But we're this giant store, and they all want to come in and they want to take our product. But to
Right.
take our product, they're going to have to pay. And we'll either make a deal with them or we'll just set a price, because some countries are worse than others. Some countries have ripped us off really badly, and some countries have just ripped us off a little bit. But almost all of them have ripped us off because we've had really poor leadership. And what's going to happen is we're going to negotiate with, we are negotiating. We're negotiating with 70 different countries. We're negotiating, we're showing great respect. But in the end, we may make deals, but either that or I just set a price. I said, here's what you're going to pay for the privilege of servicing the United States of America. And they have an option. They can maybe talk to me a little bit, or they can not shop. They don't have to shop at this big store. Or they can shop.
Right.
But in any event, they're going to have to pay. Look, we owe $36 trillion for a reason. The reason is the trade, and also the endless wars, the stupid wars that we fought.
Thank you.
We go into the Middle East, we blow it up, we leave, we don't get anything. And you're a big fan of exactly what I'm saying, meaning let's not do the
Let's not
stupid
do that.
stuff.
Doesn't work.
It's stupid. Endless wars that they don't even want us. We got into wars,
Right.
they didn't even want us.
That's right.
So all of that stuff. When I left 4 years ago, we had no wars. We had no Israel and Hamas. And by the way, it would have never happened because Iran was broke. They were broke. I had sanctions that were so strong on Iran. They were totally broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah. We didn't have Russia, Ukraine. That would have never happened, by the way. We didn't have the Afghanistan embarrassment, one of the great embarrassments in the history of our country. We didn't have any inflation.
I know.
Don't forget, I charged China hundreds of billions worth of tariffs. They talk about inflation. We had no inflation because that doesn't cause inflation. Stupidity causes inflation. High energy caused inflation. When they took over my energy, we were making it like nobody's ever seen. And then the prices doubled. By the way, because of that, Putin went in. If they kept, you see what's going on with energy now, it's going down.
Yeah.
It makes it much harder for Putin to prosecute the war.
Wow. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I actually need that on a shirt, in quotes. Stupidity causes inflation. Donald J. Trump. I mean,
There's so
true.
much there.
I know.
That's incredible. Also, President Trump took some questions in the Oval Office yesterday. So
Busy
I
day.
don't know. This guy must work every minute of the day.
Yes.
When does he ever sleep?
That was a vacation, going out on the lawn to figure out where to put the big, beautiful flagpole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seriously, that was his
Yeah.
break.
Yeah. And watch the judiciary jump in the middle of that and tell him he can't.
They're not. It's the homeowner
All right,
association.
Yeah, with no HOA, it'll be the judicial.
Yeah,
okay, got it, got it.
and
Yeah.
Babylon B, we know you're listening. So there is
Yes.
a gift to you for
There's a
your
gift.
next headline.